Welcome back. The brackets are set, and I have a couple of experts here to help make sense of the Midwest and South regions. Joining me is Greg Brzezowski and Alex Rosenbaum. Now, you guys have made your picks, and here's what you've agreed on in the Midwest. You both have the #1 overall seed, Kansas, taking care of business. Northern Iowa beating UNLV, followed by Michigan State, Georgetown, Georgia Tech, and Ohio State, all advancing. But guys, there were a couple games you just couldn't come to terms on. So I'll make your arguments, and I will decide who advances. Let's start with the Maryland-Houston game. Greg, let's go with you.
Gotta go Maryland. Grievous Vasquez, ACC Player of the Year. Gary Williams knows how to coach in the NCAA tournament. This team is stacked. They're going to be an easy win for them against Houston. It's no challenge. Cougars can't do it.
They can't play away from home. They lost in the ACC tournament. They only have one win over a team in the tournament right now. That's Florida State on the road. Other than that, they're not a very good team. They're not consistent. And a team like Houston with a leading scorer in Aubrey Coleman can match up with Grievous Vasquez. And in that one game, that's an easy upset.
They did go 19-15, though. They were 15-15 entering their conference
But
tournament.
now they've won 4 in a row, and they're coming in. They're used to the neutral field, and they could pull this out.
Am I mistaken? Is Hakeem Olajuwon suiting up for the Cougars? Clyde Drexler, 5-star Majama? No, then they're not going to win. It's going to be Maryland.
Moving on now to another game in that bracket. #6 Tennessee versus #11 San Diego State. Alex, who do you have?
Tennessee is one of the 2 teams in the tournament that has beaten 2 #1 seeds. They beat the 1 and 2 seeds overall in the tournament. Kentucky and Kansas, 2 of the best teams in the tournament, 2 teams that I have in my Final Four. But they're just going to go out and dominate a team like San Diego State, who isn't very talented, is going to have to come across the country, and they're not very good.
You know, you talk about their skill against those top teams. They just lost to Kentucky by almost 30. I don't think they can do it. This is one of the most inconsistent teams in the country. San Diego State just dominated in the Mountain West tournament. They're a fantastic defensive and rebounding team. They're primed for the upset, and I think they're going to pull it off. They're going to beat Tennessee.
Tennessee's always good for a win or two in the tournament. Bruce Pearl's made the Sweet 16, I think, 3 years in a row. I'm going with Tennessee.
Can't trust them.
Okay, guys, now that we can finally move on looking at what you have for the second round, you all have the same teams advancing. Guys, what's up with that?
Hey, best teams win. Well, it's nothing else about that. They're the most stacked.
I mean, you have the best 1 seed, the #1 overall in the tournament, the best 2 seed, which was a potential #1 in Ohio State, the best 3 seed in Georgetown, who is one of those teams who's beaten multiple #1s, and a great 5 seed with a great Hall of Fame coach in Tom Izzo, who's gonna win games. So it's pretty easy.
Game that stands out to me is the Baylor-Notre Dame game. Tough game. We both have Baylor winning. Let's move on to the next region. We're talking, all right, so let's move to the South region now, where we again will see what you guys have agreed on already. You both have Duke taking out whoever survives the play-in game. Louisville handling California, then Texas A&M, Notre Dame, Baylor, Richmond, and Villanova, all taking care of business. But you two just can't decide who wins the Purdue-Siena game. Guys, who do you have?
Siena pulls the upset for the 3rd straight year. When they were the 13 2 years ago, who'd they beat? Vandy. When they were the 9 last year, who'd they beat? Ohio State. This team is returning 4 of 5 starters from last year's team. They're really talented, underrated again this year. They're going to win this game. They're going to defeat their opponent.
Greg, you're taller than 4 or 5 of their starters.
Yo,
They're
that's the best.
6'5"
They're a
and under.
scrappy team.
Yeah, they're small. They're not going to compete against a team with a great center in Jawan Johnson, and they've got a great scorer in Each One More. Yes, Robbie Hummel's important.
Where's Robbie Hummel?
They're not going to go far without him,
He's
but they
gone.
are going to win
ACL
games.
out.
Absolutely. That's why Siena's got it. He's gone, best player. They're not going to be able to do it.
It's hard to argue with the history. I'm going to go with Siena. 2
There we
years in a row,
go.
make it 3.
That's what I'm talking about.
So that's it. It's settled. Let's move on to the second round where we have to talk about the Baylor-Notre Dame matchup. Guys, impress me.
Baylor, one of the scrappiest teams, as you were talking about Siena, one of the most athletic teams. You've got great players, great guard play, and Tweety Carter and Lacedarius Dunn. You got big men like with like Quincy Acey. And they're going to beat a team like Notre Dame that hasn't been very good all year and was just inconsistent.
Look, Notre Dame's playing their best basketball of the year. Luke Herringody is back from his injury, at least it seems like. And you talk about their fast tempo scrappiness. How are they going to handle Notre Dame's offense when they take basically the entire shot clock off, when they play their stall offense? Luke Herringody versus Ekpe Udoh is going to be the matchup of the tournament, and Notre Dame's going to pull off the upset.
How can you not choose Baylor? Tweety Carter, that's a name made for Twitter. It's
Absolutely, and I love the Twitter reference with it, but Notre Dame has got it. You don't bet against the Big East in the first 2 rounds.
I'm going with Baylor. That's all we got for now, but when we come back, Andrew will join Billy O'Riordan and Adam Constantine to tackle the other 2 regions. Don't go anywhere.